Well, what's all the clucking about? That's a question one Dalhousie University professor is trying to figure out. Suresh Neethirajan is with Dal's Department of Animal Science and Aquaculture, and he's been doing research using AI to see if he can help people in agriculture understand just what it is those chickens are trying to say. Information Morning's Feleshia Chandler dropped by the Atlantic Poultry Research Center in Truro.
If you've ever been to a farm or owned chickens, you know firsthand that these birds are noisy. But what are they actually saying? Well, it turns out, a lot. And Suresh Neethirajan wants to get to the bottom of what's behind all that clucking.
She's looking at laying eggs, and she's also looking at, hey, what's going on?
He's a professor in Dalhousie's Department of Animal Science and Aquaculture. Neethirajan has been studying animal behavior and language for the past decade. He's worked at universities across the globe and, as of a few years ago, decided to bring what he knows to Dalhousie. Now, he's working on research that's using AI and machine learning to better decode the way chickens express things like joy, fear, and social cues.
So, even among human beings, when we communicate, there is a lot of communication gaps. We tend to misinterpret what others say. So, communication is a key for better understanding each other. What if we can understand the language of farm animals such as chickens so that we can improve their quality of life, at the same time create a bit more bonding between the farmers as well as the farm animals. So that's the idea behind this research.
Neethirajan has been researching chicken language for the past year, and during a span of about 16 weeks, he put hundreds of chickens to the test, learning what hundreds of their vocalizations and actions really mean.
Every day we collected a bunch of data, vocalization data. We stressed them with visual cues like opening an umbrella suddenly. We also played dog barking sound to stress them out via audio stress. We were trying to understand how different types of stresses play a role and how they communicate, how they express themselves. Does chickens have emotions and feelings like humans?
Neethirajan says when faced with all these trials, like the dogs barking and other loud sounds, the chickens had a lot to say.
Chickens, the sound, the gap or the pause between the sound, the amplitude, the pitch, the tone, the energy behind each of those has lots of information in it. Sometimes a group of chickens talk among themselves, express their satisfaction, contentment, frustration, even if there is a delay in the availability of feed or there is a change in the hygiene protocol or the lighting intensity, they can actually express that through the vocalizations. So it really helps us to understand, hey, what are the things I need to do as a farmer to improve the welfare of these birds?
After collecting the sounds, their chirps, clucks, and squawks get fed into a machine learning system. The AI helps highlight speech patterns and the frequency in which they're used, and that helps Neethirajan decipher when and what chickens use certain sounds for.
We typically try to look for meaning behind the words. So we look at these modulations of sound using algorithms. Then we collaborate with animal behavior scientists, ethologists to create a spectrum in terms of understanding the cognition, in terms of is it positive, negative, or neutral emotion. What type of, is it frustrated, disappointed, happy? So we try to look at all of these emotion-based indices and create a better understanding of the behavior as well as the emotional makeup of these birds.
Neethirajan says he hopes that by deciphering chicken language and in turn their needs, he can help farmers and perhaps others in the industry improve animal welfare and productivity.
For example, in dairy cows, we are looking at the relationship and the cow-calf contact, the different calls they make. Sometimes dairy cows are passive-aggressive. They do vigorous licking to demonstrate their dislike. So we also look at those very, very subtle, smaller cues and signs along with the vocalization to develop new ways of, hey, you know what, at least, 3 to 4 hours before calving period, give a bit more space so that let the cow enjoy its own space during the birthing process. So that's the kind of strategies we would be able to develop and advise to the farmers.
Neethirajan says his research will be ongoing, and he'll continue to work with chickens and other farm animals, deciphering the code that is their speech until he's cracked it.
We are at the cusp, I would say. If not now, then when? With the climate change, everything is interconnected. By improving the welfare aspects, if we can cut down a certain percentage of resource consumption and better utilization of resources for the farmers, maybe the energy or the feeding or the water, that can go a long way. If it's 1%, can bring a lot of magnitude of changes when we look at from a scalability, economies of scale perspective. So that really helps us to keep going.
So remember, next time you're at a farm or communicating with your chickens, pay close attention, because they might just be trying to tell you something.
It's trying to
Did she peck you? Behave yourself, ladies.
I know, she's trying to leave.
For Information Morning, I'm Feleshia Chandler.
And thanks to Feleshia for that.